reading from the Gospel of Matthew. As they were gathering in Galilee, Jesus said to them, "The Son of Man is going to be betrayed into human hands, and they will kill him, and on the third day he will be raised." And they were greatly distressed. When they reached Capernaum, the collectors of the temple tax came to Peter and said, "Does your teacher not pay the temple tax?" And he said, "Yes, he does." And when he came home, Jesus spoke of it first, asking, "What do you think, Simon? From whom do kings of the earth take toll or tribute? From their children or from others?" And when Peter said, "From others," Jesus said to him, "Then the children are free. However, so that we do not give offense to them, go to the sea and cast a hook. Take the first fish that comes up, and when you open its mouth, you will find a coin. Take that and give it to them for you and me." Well, no one would ever say Jesus is passive-aggressive, but here in this account from Matthew's Gospel, we have yet another story where Jesus is going a long way around to tell his listeners about his identity, who he is, where he comes from, where his authority comes from. He comes home, and Capernaum may have been a more bustling place, but in modern day Capernaum, going and visiting, it's really kind of just a little wide spot in the road, a little village with a few buildings. I'm sure it was busy enough, but this is sort of like Jesus coming and happening into the town square, and somebody coming along and saying, "I've noticed you didn't pay your club dues." And yet it is a question about, is he adhering to the local law and custom? And interesting to note, Jesus says, look, and as he often does, teaching with a lesson, teaching in this Socratic way, saying, "Look, Peter, tell me who gets taxed? Is it someone sitting in the very lap of luxury, or is it the citizenry, those who are outside of the family?" Peter says, of course, it is the others who pay a tax. And Jesus says, we're going to pay this tax, but not because I owe it, but because this is a tactical thing for me to do. But just to show you, and again, this is about its identity, just to make sure we know who I am and what it is I can do. We're going to pay the tax, but we're going to do it in the most extraordinary way, the most ridiculous way, just to prove the point that I don't actually need to pay this, because I really am connected to the creator and sustainer of the universe. So much so that I can send you down to the sea, to have you cast in a line, and have the fish with the exact coin in its mouth to help us pay the tax for both of us. It's a little bit of a show-offy thing to do. It's really interesting to watch Jesus decide he's just going to pay the tax and he's going to capitulate, but he doesn't just pay the tax. I'm sure he had some money, but it's almost like, I'm not taking my hard-earned money and paying a tax I don't owe. I'm going to show you, in fact, just over the top, how it is that I don't owe this, but we're going to pay it with this kind of wooden nickel in a way, something that we didn't earn, something we didn't have to struggle for, something just exists because, in fact, I can control the universe, living creatures, the sea, all at my command, just for this petty little tax. So interesting to watch Jesus and the way he teaches. Interesting to watch Jesus finding a less than straightforward way to fulfill the pragmatic end of keeping in good graces with the local communion, but not bowing down to falsely to their authority, finding really the creative way to hold in tension both his desire to have a tactical approach and relationship to the people here at Capernaum, but also not willing to betray who he really is, and by paying a tax that he suggests he could never owe because of who he is. So Jesus, once again, showing us that you can do two things. You can do hard things. You can do complicated things as a person who's following God. Sometimes you and I have to fulfill more than one role, and we might find those roles in tension with one another. We may need to make tactical choices that are in the moment in of themselves not exactly correct, but are tactical choices that will smooth the human relationships, that will let the glory of God shine through, and let processes that need to happen more smoothly. Jesus and this story, this kind of mirthful way of paying a tax he doesn't owe, in the most show-offy way ever. This is a story that reminds us that God is not simply black and white, yes and no, straightforward. God not only welcomes, but God's self is one who responds creatively in these moments of tension and seemingly irreconcilable tension between what we're asked to do sometimes to keep the peace and who we actually are as children of God. So as you ponder what this might mean in your life, I hope that God's wisdom and God's humor indeed will be with you. And may God bless you, and God bless you and keep you this day and always. Amen.